Hello everyone. Hi. Welcome to the preview of NAVCUBE. NAVCUBE is a business intelligence solution used for connecting your data on a real-time basis to make it available into various simulated forms of Excel pivot and dashboards. So what generally happens that it extracts the information on a real-time basis and gives you an option to analyze your data. You do not need any kind of a data warehousing. We convert the raw form of meaningful and information data to increase your knowledge and help you with the decision making process. There's a lot of unstructured report and data which is lying in your ERP or a legacy system, which consumes a lot of management time. Hence, by deployment of NAVCUBE, the structured reporting can be achieved. Thereby, management can consume less time in procuring those reports and more time in taking the decision. So let me take you to the product directly. You have got your own defined cubes where within a particular cube you have got different sets of data. For example, you are going into financial analysis, you can have account payable receivable aging, you can have budgetary analysis, financial transaction analysis, so on and so forth. Going into these reports, you have got different scenarios pre-configured for the analytical purpose. So for an example, if I go into a tax register, it will tell me that there are different layouts already prepared. So which layout I want to refer to for my analytical purpose, that is what matters to me. So let me take you through a pivot report and explain you how does the pivot reporting mechanism works within the NAVCUBE. So when I click on a sales tax register, it will tell me that which organization I have pre-configured or predefined. It will pick it up directly. So hereby we claim you do not have to put maximum number of clicks to reduce your time for the analysis. It will ask you whether you want to analyze your data with dimension or without dimension. What is the date range or the period within which you want to analyze your data. So when I press OK, it starts establishing the connection on a real-time basis to extract the information from your legacy systems. Now this depends upon all the set of combinations which you have asked to get deployed into this particular report. Also, these reports are amalgamation of 30 to 40 scenarios. By saying 30 to 40 scenarios, what happens when you refer to a report in your ERP system, they are static in nature. So you do not have much of option to analyze the report with a 360 degree. So let's say it is talking about the customer name, the tax information, the documents, and so on and so forth. I do not want to have these kind of information. Just like an Excel pivot, I can remove out these informations to have my slate clean and blank. Now I can start up my analysis on a fresh note. So who all have been my customers? What are the items which have been traded or sold? Against which financial month I am referring to? You can also put financial month name. What has been the quantity which has been sold? The tax percentage. Your tax amount. So on and so forth. So you can see how easily I am able to drag and relate my data. So let's say I want to understand for this particular customer, it has sold two quantities. So I want to have detail about those two quantities. I can just simply double click on it and get the information that how that two quantities have been sold and what have been the details about that line item. We can do a chart integration at the report level. So if I want to have an analysis month over month in totality, so I have to simply select the charts and select all the months. So it will tell me month-wise performance. So I'm easily able to analyze that March has been the outstanding month for me in terms of quantity sales. Now, similarly, let me take you to another report. And let me create a scenario for you. Invoice amount. Now, I want to have an analysis over the performing and non-performing customers in terms of the quantity sold. So, any customer which is selling or buying quantity greater than or equal to 10K, I ask them to be marked with green as performing items. Similarly, those items whose quantity have been sold less than or equal to 5,000, I ask them to be marked with red as low performing. So I can have a clear categorization about the items which have been performing and which have not been performing. Similarly, if I remove it from the customers and I put it against the item groups, it will still maintain the formats which you have used for performing and non-performing. So those are performing and non-performing customers in terms of quantity. These are the items against the quantities which have been performing and non-performing. You can also do a sorting at the quantity level to understand the performing items. So these are your items which have been performing. Now, at the same time, I can have another option wherein I can say on the basis of the quantity, I want to have top 10 item group and rest I want to be shown as others. So as soon as I press it, it will put my top 10 quantities and rest it will show me as others. So what has been the contribution of others in terms of my total sales for a particular item group? I have to refer to variation to understand this. As soon as I say that I want the contribution as percentage of the column, it will tell me that 0.75% has been the contribution of the total sales by the others in comparison to the performing top 10 items. So you can see 99.25% has been performed by your top 10 items. Rest have been a low performer. Similarly, if I want to segregate this data on the basis of the data interval and I say that I want to have an analysis on the basis of the quarter. So what have been the performance in terms of quarter? So I would say I can easily visualize that performance in terms of second quarter. It was somewhere around 1%, which dipped out to 0.35% in my third quarter. If you want to have a month over month analysis, you can easily have that by selecting the month option. So I can see it very well that what has been the performance in terms of quantity month over month. So in April it was 3.68 contributing. At the same time in the June it was contributing only 0.25% of your total sales. Similarly, now I want to set up the new targets. I can go and add a custom field by saying targets, and I can do my own calculation over here. So I would clearly call it out that next time I want quantity to be sold out 1.5 times more. So as soon as I drag and relate my targets, it will tell me what have been my new targets. So I can do now the analysis over the new targets also. Once I have done this analysis, I can simply go and define item group wise performance. This has saved my layout. At the same time, if I want to retrieve another layout, another analysis which I have saved for myself, like for example state-wise, month-wise analysis, I can simply go and click and it will give me the state-wise, month-wise analysis. So for me to move into a multiple simulated environment through a single report, having multiple options for the analytical purpose, that is the power of NAVCUBE. I can export my report in any format I wish to, PDF, Word and Excel. I can also export and email my report. So when I say export and email, I have to go and define sales report analysis. It will open up an email scheduler for me, which can send across the mail and the file is automatically attached. So I can say that Gaurav @ navcube.in is just send it. Dear Gaurav, this has been the performance. So you can see how powerful it is to connect with my co-users in a collaborative environment by using NAVCUBE. Similarly, NAVCUBE comes with dashboards. Now these dashboards are multi-information into a single window. You can see we have created one finance dashboard which talks about the information a senior management is looking on a day-to-day basis. This information is on the basis of the 2 financial years, talking about the direct versus export versus other directs, your revenue growth, your profit before tax, your operating profit growth, revenue month by month performance, your profit before tax growth, your operating growth, sales margin, and the sales performance in terms of direct and indirect revenue. If you want to analyze this information on the basis of the month, you have to simply go and click the month. So what it will do? It will filter out the data on that particular month itself. If I want to have the performance for that particular financial year, I can go and filter out that financial year also. So it is telling me that the performance for this financial year in terms of direct revenue in the month of April was this amount. Similarly, you can have a fixed report as well. These fixed reports talk about more information which are required into your inbox or for the paper purposes. Currently, I am displaying you a report which talks about the EBITDA. It talks about the revenue from the operation. It talks about the expenditures, your profit before taxes, your amortization, your incomes, depreciation, so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, what is the net profit and the margin percentage which is coming back to the organization. This report also helps you with the performance analysis and the growth percentage in terms of previous year, previous quarter. So NAVCUBE Analytics is a very simple and a powerful tool which is built on a pure fundamental of Excel pivot, and it helps you understanding your data very simply to help you grow your business. Thank you so much for attending this session.